Hey, what's going on? This is Lyra from That One Piece Talk. Who are you and how are you?
I did not have to think I could do. Holy crap. I've only been trying for an hour. Carrie.
Carrie, nice to meet you, Carrie. What's up, girl?
Before I get into what I originally wanted to say, to the person who mentioned did Mihawk teach Zoro, he basically refused to give the boy alcohol until he learned armament.
That's true, though.
No, I'm pretty sure he learned it pretty damn quick.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, too. Because he did beat the human drills in like 2 seconds.
That was before he learned, like, at all. Like, Mihawk refused to let him. He refused to train him because he didn't beat them. He's like, I beat them. Yeah. You're the only one on this island left. And that's what made Mihawk decide to actually train him. But he did straight say, unless you learn armament, not a drop of alcohol. And he's like, oh, shit.
Language, Carrie.
Sorry.
What's your question?
A couple weeks ago, Larry had mentioned his feelings on Garp. And you actually put into words everything that I had in my head. And I was like, holy crap, that is exactly how I felt this entire time. I think my biggest thing that really I don't think I like this guy much more anymore is when a 10-year-old looked him in the eye and asked if he deserved to live, and he didn't. I'm like, because I love Ace. Ace is like, and just the fact that a child can ask that and you can't give him an answer, a straight answer, that hurts. And I was always like, I don't know about this guy. And then you can sit next to him who's sobbing and just do nothing.
That's deep. I mean, I would say his answer to Ace's question in that moment was a little more nuanced. He said you can only determine that by living. If Ace went out and started assaulting women, like, he doesn't deserve to live.
No,
you know what I mean? But
oh, no.
Yeah, like, I think
part of it involves the fact, I mean, yeah, it is a very nuanced question. If he were older.
That's fair.
Like, I mean, I don't even think he was 10, because I'm pretty sure Luffy wasn't with him, only been like 8 or 9. But that's still so young to give someone an answer like that, who has had his lived experience already, and who's just so unbelievably angry. For someone, I think, with the experience that Garp has, his rank and his position and his lived experience, to give just a child such an answer that he can't focus on until he's at least 10 years older than that. And that's even just to start with.
Me, I want to shoot Garp some bail, personally.
Okay.
I've actually heard about the clips of Garp being a fraud.
Coward. He's never called him a fraud.
Okay, coward.
Yeah, I don't think he's a fraud, but I don't think it was very... Honestly, it was too easy to lose respect for him. I don't think he's a fraud. He definitely has the power. We've seen it. Not a lot. Like, we haven't. It was very easy to kind of lose respect for him because he's so focused on. And also, if you think about it, joining the Marines, you're putting Ace and Luffy straight into the world government's hands.
Right.
Like, you're literally handing them to him on a silver platter. I don't know how Sengoku found out who he was, but what would have happened if he was a Marine and under Sengoku's control, or Akainu's control even?
I guess my quick question to you would be, do you think, because I'm thinking of this from Garp's perspective, right?
Okay.
From the way he was raising Luffy, Ace, and Sabo, it looked like his perspective, he believes that the Marines are the best option for doing right in the world. Even though we're seeing, from the outside looking in, that there are good pirates out there. There are pirates that have,
right,
good morals. Obviously, you have the Revolutionary Army, people like Kuma in there, very, very genuine, nice people. From Garp's perspective, even though he believes that there is corruption in the Marines, which is why, he kind of staying at, Vice Admiral and stuff, he still believes that the Marines are the best option. Do you think it's fair for us to condemn him for that knowledge based on what he had to deal with back in his day? Because again, Garp is coming from the era of Rocks and Roger and all of these pirates that were super, super powerful, super, super dangerous. That's what he's used to. So the concept of pirates with good morals, we all have like our old relatives, right? That have, they're stuck in their ways with, an old thought that, we as a newer generation have a different mindset on. I think Garp is kind of in that era where he is used to, when he hears pirates, he's thinking of Rocks. He's thinking of how legendary and how dangerous these pirates were.
Or even just lesser pirates that have done atrocities over time.
Yeah,
it's not
absolutely.
all just Rocks. Any pirate, for the most part, has been evil for them. Like, in the One Piece world.
Right.
Exactly.
I mean, it is a pretty rare, yeah, he was essentially frenemies with Roger and all them. Like, he's with Roger almost like what Whitebeard is. It's like, oh, hey, he's coming. I'm gonna fight him. No, I do know what you're saying there, but
I don't feel like it's fair to condemn him based on what he had to deal with in his day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
If it's like a newer Marine, you see what's going on. Like, you're seeing the new world now, the new age. Cool. Like, in Garp's day, it was a whole different vibe, I feel like.
I feel like I see both sides of it, right? Like, I get condemning Garp personally. I do. Because in Garp's case, he has had a firsthand witness of those pirates that you're saying, firsthand experience seeing rocks, seeing these other pirates that were doing atrocities and things. But at the same time, he also had firsthand experience of what the top of the Marines looks like, what the people pulling the strings of this organization are like, the Celestial Dragons. And
he also physically saw Bonero Island.
Right, and in several cases,
he had to go there to see Rouge.
And in several cases, they're more evil. And
yeah, I mean,
he'll tell you that himself.
It's the only reason why he will not take an admiral or higher position. He does not want to deal with them. But so he knows how bad they are. And he refuses to put himself under their shoe, under them. But
you have someone?
I do.
So yeah, he is pretty 50. I'm 50-50, but I can't agree with him, and he really just through a lot of his current actions, the stuff that he is willing to just let go.
You're giving out very good points, and I understand it completely. And for Garp's perspective, I can understand it. Do I agree with it, and would I have moved that way? Not myself. Just to touch up on the Ace thing, one thing where I feel like he lacks is giving Ace that answer was like, that's something you have to decide for yourself. Simply put, don't let these people tell you that you should die or you should live or not. You should make your own worth. Like, you should know how to answer that question. But going to the detail, the deeper thing, what was behind that is how everyone viewed his father and how Ace was starting to learn about his father. Garp, I feel like you missed the opportunity to where you know legit Ace's father. You know how he really is, who he really was.
He's not evil.
Exactly.
He's not this giant, cruel, horrific monster.
Yes.
Like, he also had the chance to tell him, we didn't catch him. Because Ace isn't going to give out that information freely.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he only revealed his parentage to Whitebeard because he was offered commander position. Otherwise, he wouldn't have mentioned that. He would have gone to his grave with that knowledge.
And I get that. I think the issue with that is if he does, and this is another knock on Garp technically, but if he tells him about Roger in that light, it does glorify being a pirate, which is the opposite of what Garp is trying to have Ace steer to. So it's like, tell him about his father and potentially lead him down a path that it would be inevitably lead to potentially him passing, or try to withhold the information and get him into this side. That's poor parenting in my view. I prefer to just tell the kids the truth.
That's where he really he was not a good parent.
I'm also not a parent.
He's a great Marine, not the greatest parent.
Yeah. Depends on how Garp would have to word that conversation, because I know Garp said himself, he couldn't find himself growing to hate Roger at all. You don't have to give a reason encouraging piracy, but it's just him as a character could have helped Shanks put a perspective of value of his own life. Because, like you said, no kid should ask those questions and have an answer that's not fully satisfying to that, or you're still looking for that answer, or you're speaking to someone that knows your father and knows the value of life because the way Garp lived. I will add, though, like you guys mentioned, Garp seeing the new age of pirates or whatever, but I'm telling you right now, we can only count on a hand of how many decent pirates there are on there. Pirate crews?
Totally right, yeah.
Roger,
Whitebeard,
Shanks,
the ones we've seen, it's essentially Roger.
And Luffy's crew. Yeah. So there's only 4. Out of the entire world that we know of, only 4 good pirate crews.
Would you consider Law's crew a decent crew?
Not necessarily, because Law's a doctor, but remember how he reacted to Luffy helping out people at Wano. He was disgusted. Law just said, a pirate helping civilians?
That doesn't mean you're a bad crew.
Saying that he wouldn't do it. I know, I'm not saying he was bad, but he wouldn't do it.
I got opinions on Law. Yeah. I love him dearly, but the sheer amount of trauma that guy has gone through, I don't think he can see situations like that anymore.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
There is no, in situations like that, I think it's black and white with him right now. He's getting better with it because he's putting himself near people like Luffy. That alliance is never going to end, whether Law likes it or not. Yeah. You see it in other people just by being in his presence, okay, not everyone is so bad, but he spent so much time wanting to just destroy everything. Even though he's a doctor, it's still hard for him, I think, to separate everything. So he's still anarchist level. Like he'll like if it burns, it burns.
Real quick, it's like the law still trying to find or add meaning to like his life. But one more thing with Garp, right, is like I know we said the celestial dragons are way worse, right? But also too,
oh god, yes.
The pirates outnumber the celestial dragons. They're all over just attacking. So when I go with, for example, the Garp, right, the Marines who chose that option because he's trying to protect people. Yeah, the celestial dragons, they abuse their power 100%, but they're kind of in one spot. And yeah, they go out occasionally, but they're in one spot. Where pirates rise. Pirates are all over the world, constantly just attacking everywhere. Garp even that way. Garp can't even go to every single line and save every single kingdom or every single person that's being attacked by pirates. But from the most thing he experienced, since they outnumber, we only have 4. Yeah, all the such dragons are bad, but we have some good ones coming out. And the same thing as majority of pirates are bad. We only have 4 really decent crews that are actually trying to help people. But the main thing what the Marines do, they try to stand for justice. Even the Revs recognize that. They try to stand for justice and try to help people, most of them. And some of them do get corrupted by the influence from the world government. But Garp's trying to be that person where he keeps reminder, this is what we should be. We should be the heroes. And that's represented in Kobe. Kobe's a representative of Garp of what we should be doing as Marines. Not adopting what the Celestial Dragons have been or trying to rule. No, we are the ones that protect the people. So that's why Garp's in a fight with them, and that's why he also fights against his best friend, Sengoku. Because he's a reminder of the Marines what we should be. Yeah. That's the meter.
Larry?
Anything? And real quick, with that, like, with the whole, like, him, like, Garp training them to be able to protect themselves and everything, even if they didn't become pirates, he knew they really wanted to. So no matter what, they'd be going into the Grand Line and the New World and all that. Why never teach them hockey?
They were a little young, right? No?
The only one that you need to have a birthright to is Conquerors. And it's understandable that no one knew that Ace had it because it happened with nobody around who knew what hockey was. Even just knowing it, because then it's something that when they start traveling or doing something, they have at least the knowledge of it.
Garp was saving that when they became Marines.
Yeah, you want hockey training, join the Marines.
You see, Dragon put Sabo right to work.
Dragon or Kuma?
You are not wrong on that.
Dragon was in the frame.
Dragon or Kuma?
Sabo has an attack called Dragon Claw. Come on.
Yo, King got an attack called Imperial Flame Dragon, bro. You think Dragon? You think Kaido?
You don't see Kuma out here like with his palm doing, dragon fingers.
Who got hand techniques, Kuma or Dragon?
Oh no, that's Kuma.
If I may,
no, that's Dragon. I mean, what the?
If I may say something though, I do want to say I feel like as much as y'all like try to give leeway to Garp and his doings, I feel like it's disrespectful to his character. Yeah, I feel like y'all make him feel like he's ignorant or like he's somewhat dumb to a degree. Like he doesn't know what's going on consistently around the world. You may think like, like pirate crews are bad. There's only like a couple good ones. They're not organized half of the time. There are roundabouts. There are people picked up. They're just doing things, right? We have a world government that has more islands and more territory than any other pirate out there. And they're able to mobilize on command and have great powers and can erase civilizations. Garp knows all of this. They are the biggest...
Luffy's been involved in, 2 Buster Calls by this point?
Yeah, but even so, right? They're the biggest pirate gang in the world. So if we truly think about it, when Carrie brought up the fact that like he told Ace, yo, find out what makes your life worth living, right? That's okay to me. But it also gives the same way Jiraiya spoke to Naruto about what he wants to do with the hate in the world. He said to Naruto, I don't know how to get rid of hate, right? I just know that something has to be done about it. And then Naruto was like, well, I wasn't really listening because I thought he was just yapping, right? But then Naruto later learned that the way Jiraiya was trying to deal with hate, he left it up to his students to do so. Which is what kind of Garp is doing, right? For Kobe. He probably tried to do it with Ace, right? And Luffy. That's why he wanted them to become Marines. But ultimately, Jiraiya gave bad information to Nagato. He said, I'm going to train you, and then you have to be able to protect yourself, but also figure out, like, how to get back at those people. Even though it continues the cycle of hatred, it's just, I don't know how to get rid of the hatred. So ultimately, he was wrong.
When you do something like that and you say something, you also have to take into consideration how they are, like for example, like you said, Nagato, he was angry. He wanted his definition of ending the cycle was just to end it.
Yeah.
Instead of changing it. because that's how they grew up. Ace was so angry that it's something that needed to be like addressed and directed better, I think. He doesn't understand at that point. Like, he's so young, like we said. It's just, you have to take into consideration the person's headspace and how they go about it. Like, Ace has always treated everything head on, just like Roger. It's been pointed out numerous times that he's very much like Roger in that sense.
I agree with what you're saying, Larry, actually, that you're saying that we're kind of portraying Garp to be ignorant, because I do think that there is a sense of ignorance coming from Garp. Like, I believe that. I believe based on the era that he came from and how he views the world, that's where he believes the Marines are pretty much the best bet versus, because he tried to get Dragon to do the same thing. Then Dragon said, no, this is not the right way. I'm going to do the Revolutionary Army. Luffy, coming up next under Garp, Luffy said, no, I want to be a pirate, right? But you see Garp constantly still trying to push the Marines narrative. More Marines, more Marines. Kobe comes up. Marines, Marines, Marines. That's where he's stuck in his ways, where he believes that the Marines are are like the greatest option out there. So I do think that you're right, that we're portraying Garp to be ignorant, but I do think that's kind of Garp. Like, Garp is kind of is ignorant. Like, he's not trying to hear what any of the new generation's really saying. Like,
he's stuck in his ways. Like,
he's stuck in his ways. You know what I mean?
I disagree.
Yeah, he's like that grandparent that's just, no, you're not changing my mind. I've lived this way for this many years, and no point changing now.
I disagree, because if that would be true if he didn't be like, yo, I don't want to serve on the Celestial Dragons.
That's true.
So, like, the fact that he's able to serve under them, he has to understand, like, if somebody tells an admiral to go do something, or like they tell Sengoku, yo, tell Garp to go over there. Garp has to listen to Sengoku, right? The point is he knows that there's corruption within the Marines. No matter what you guys try to point out, he could be as ignorant as you want or stuck in his ways as you want. That's not stuck in your ways. I recognize an issue. I recognize there's genocide. There's racism, and I also know that there's slavery going on. I also know that they're hunting people on islands. I also know that the white lead disease was probably manufactured by them to some degree. I know that they're experimenting with probably blue sapphire if it's not an STD. Like, there's things that Garp is high enough in position to know what things are happening around the world. And for you to be like, well, because a couple pirates break into a bar and smash glasses or do some of these wild things, it's not as bad as what we're doing.
But Larry,
that's
what
not
he's
true.
doing is compartmentalizing, right? It's like, okay,
I think it's because he's been a Marine for so long that he can't see anything from a point of view that is not from a Marine.
Yeah, that's ignorance.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, it's like, okay, from this position,
like,
it's the lesser evil in his mind, which he's wrong. That's the thing. He doesn't believe that he's wrong yet.
Exactly.
He still thinks, no matter how bad the world government is, the Marines are still a lesser evil than the pirates are.
That's what I'm
saying. And he's wrong. That's the thing. He is wrong. He doesn't know that he's wrong yet.
Well, it's not fully the Marines, it's the world government. Remember, they're kind of two different
The problem is, even though he's non-admiral and isn't directly under the Celestial Dragons, he still cannot stop them. He has no say in what they do, where they do it, how they do it.
Right. And he still
has to protect them no matter what. He just doesn't have to be directed by them.
And he still refuses to work directly under them, which is, in his mind, his justice. His way of, all right, I'm not doing that, at least. Which, again, is that enough? In your opinion, no.
Is it justice?
And that's fine.
Is it? But again, you're once again saying that he's not smart enough to recognize what he's in is evil.
No, he's not. He doesn't recognize he's choosing.
But he's choosing.
He's choosing.
He's choosing, but you're saying as if it's like justice. No, it's cowardice. You choose not to do something because you feel you aren't capable of, like, being the deciding factor. Garp has everything a Marine would need in order to change the government or the Marines itself.
Let me ask you this, though.
He can't do it by himself.
So what do you think Garp is afraid of, right? Because if we're going to say that he's afraid of, I guess, going up against the world government, you got to remember, he went up against Rox, whose, like, sole purpose was to take over the whole world. And he gathered the strongest pirates around the world and formed a coalition to do it. So I think that's kind of like one of the greatest feats that we've seen from anybody in the series, right? And it did force the pirates and the Marines have to work together. But that's something that Garp was willing to be a part of. So it's hard for me to look at Garp and say that he is a coward. I really think.
You also have to take into consideration they weren't the strongest pirates in the world at that point. Like they didn't know that they weren't YONKOs at that point. They were just Rox's crew members. They didn't get the notoriety, like the extreme notoriety that they have once they became YONKOs yet, because they were just Rox's crew members. Half of it, I don't even think.
Well, Rox.
It's what everyone says about 𝙏𝙏𝙪𝙢𝙪 no me and all that he didn't have it yet. That's part of what led him to being under the position of the world's strongest, was when he got his hands on that devil fruit. He was just Rox's crew member at that point. He wasn't 𝙢𝐻, Whitebeard, or Kaido. Kaido was just essentially at that point still probably about a little bit better than a cabin boy.
Was Rox out here like destroying societies?
We're looking at it like Rox was controlling 3 YONKOs. They weren't YONKO at that point.
But regardless of that, right? Like even Rox besides, like was any pirates out here destroying whole islands like Ohara over reading? That's my point. Like y'all act like Garp is just completely ignorant of whatever's going on. Like I don't think it's stuck in his own ways. Like he knows what's going on, but he feels either he can't make a difference or he's just too much of a coward to do so. That's what because y'all.
I don't have a problem with
me,
that,
it's
personally.
like y'all discrediting Garp. In my eyes, y'all discrediting him like he don't know nothing. Like the dude knows, bro.
I know he knows, and I don't have a problem with you calling him a coward personally. I don't.
Yeah. But what is he afraid of?
He's saying his mind, Larry's saying clearly Garp knows what's right and wrong.
Yeah.
And he's not willing to go against his moral compass or his idea of justice by abandoning the Marines and doing something else, no matter what it is, whether it's becoming a revolutionary, becoming a pirate, doing something else entirely, whatever. He's willing to accept these atrocities to stand for this symbol of justice,
or even
that he knows isn't real,
or even change the Marines from the inside out.
It's not that he's afraid. He doesn't
know how.
They're all used to it. They're all used to it as the way it is. Like we don't even have YONKOs really at this point. He's used to the Marines versus the pirates. Them and them. Yes, he does believe that the Marines are the lesser of 2 evils. Therefore, if he does something that is going to change the status quo completely, and like you said, he only knows of 2 or 3 decent pirate crews. So if he ends up doing that and uprooting everything, how do we not know that the not good pirates aren't going to flip the script completely and just all out anarchy? So I think he's not afraid. I do think he's a coward. I do not think he's afraid. I think he just he doesn't know what to do with the fact of what will happen if that script gets flipped.
Carrie, we do got to end it there, but this was a great call, great question.
Yeah, thank you,
Great conversation.
Yeah. Appreciate you, girl.
Thank you. That was very exciting. I stopped shaking finally, if that helps.
No need to shake, but we appreciate
I get
nervous.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
we used to get nervous too. Were you nervous, Shonen, when you first came?
I was more excited than that.
Yeah?
Because I've been waiting for this. You know,
Yeah.
I've been wanting to come out.
Yeah, I think everybody has nerves, Carrie. But thank you.
Yeah,
for
I only have so many people that I can debate with, so this is very nice.
Yeah, listen, jump into the Discord. We end up talking.
I'm actually in it.
Oh, you are? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Well, not right now. My tablet is playing the YouTube channel, and I'm in my room with my phone.
Listen, Carrie, you got hockey, girl. Just know.
I curtsy, but I can't.
But thank you. It was wonderful having you.
Have a good one, guys.
All right, you too.
Take it easy.
Bye-bye.
Bye.